Good morning. Hello, tribe. Let me just find you on Facebook really quick. Good morning. This morning's message. I just had a private client of mine reach out. She asked a really brilliant question. They always do. I love my clients. She asked me, what was my thinking behind why I'm able to show up and speak so vulnerably about my journey and talk about things so openly in my journey. And I think it's a ridiculously brilliant question. And it is probably one of the most freeing things that I've ever experienced in my life, which was my answer. Good morning. Hi, guys. Say hi when you pop on. If you're on the replay, hashtag I'm here. I'm here, Mindy. If you're new to me, let me know you're new to me so I can come say hi to you and get to know you. If this is your first time, just tell me so I can come say hi. Being the raw, vulnerable, powerful being that you are called to be. I mean, is there a greater journey in life than this, right? So the first one is like being raw. Like raw is like naked, soul naked, right? Not like running around naked. I know I've got some wild ones on here. I mean like soul naked, heart naked, unprotected, wide open, like being a human being who is really honest about like, this is what I long for. This is what I crave. I know that the whole world tells you that you're not allowed to have it, that you can't have everything. I know that people make you feel like you need to, be content with what you have and you're not supposed to long for everything and it's not safe to long for everything because if you desire and long for everything, then you're just going to be disappointed and being disappointed is bad. This is all crap. This is all complete crap, right? Being a really raw human being means that you're going to actually tell the truth about what it is that you long for. Like, no, I really want to feel this way in my body. I really want to look this way. I want to have this much money in my account. I want this experience of life. I want this level of wealth. I want this level of abundance. I want romance to feel like this. I would like my friendships to feel like that. I would like these kind of fun experiences. These are the things I want to spend. This is how I want to spend my morning. This is how I want all of the areas of our life to be. Like, it's safe for you to be really raw and to tell the truth about what you really long for. And guess what? It's also safe for you to actually let it be exposed. I'm not perfect. Imagine that. So the question she asked me, which was absolutely brilliant, soul naked. Yes. It seems these terms are coming up. We have soul anorexia now and soul nakedness. Soul anorexia is when you have a to-do list and you're robotically going through life and you're doing all the things you're supposed to do and you're starving on the inside. You're starving for love and for connection and to rawness and vulnerability and excitement and fun and breakthrough and expansion and you're just evolving as a human being. You're just starving for these things, but you're giving yourself none of it. You keep thinking if I just do these things and reach this goal, suddenly I'll feel better on the inside. You won't, because your soul will still be anorexic because you're not feeding your soul, right? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for saying hi. Okay, so first is raw. You get to tell yourself the truth about what you want, and you do get to have everything. I know that nothing in your life has taught you that, but I'm here to tell you, you really do get to have everything. It's like time for us to put a pause and put a stop on all the societal standards and rules and the people close to you and what they're telling you, and they're telling you you're supposed to be this way and it's supposed to, no. Here's an example. Going into dating, I leave my heart wide open. I give people access to me and I give them a chance to see how they're going to treat me with access to me. If you choose to treat me in a loving, amazing way, we're going to have a friendship or we're going to have romance or we're going to have whatever we're going to have. If you choose to do something else with that opportunity that you have, then you're going to be more pushed out and blocked out from me. You're not going to have a chance to have closeness and access to me that way. And that's what it is. And everybody on the planet would tell me, no, you need to be careful, you need to be smarter, you need to this, you need to that. No. You know why? Because I know how to manage my feelings. And I choose to do life with my heart wide open and give people the benefit of the doubt that they're going to choose what's in alignment. And if they have access to have closeness to me, that they would choose to use that wisely. And if they do not, then that's on them. And then I will adjust accordingly. Nobody on the planet would tell me that. But my commitment is to have true, deep connection with human beings. You're not going to have true, deep connection with human beings if you're constantly on the guard and protecting yourself, and you're not allowing yourself to have space for a true, deep connection. Also, just like if you're not truly allowing yourself to be who you are, like let them see your messiness. Let them see the things that you're completely ridiculously stupid about. Let them see your absolute genius and how big you are. Do they celebrate with you? Do they engage in those things? Like if you don't let people get to know you, then how will you ever feel loved and seen and valued? So you'll always be chasing that next thing, trying to be seen, trying to fill that void on the inside, but you never will because nobody really knows you, right? This is why I do group containers so often. I do groups with everything that I do. Even my one-on-one clients, they have access to my groups because the group containers are so powerful. It's an opportunity for us to be really raw and vulnerable and connect with other human beings as our real, true, authentic self, and let yourself witness yourself being fully accepted for who you actually are, and then letting yourself be seasoned and strengthened and celebrated and all the parts and things that stop the soul anorexia. Hi, good morning. I'm glad you're here live, right? Okay, so the rawness is incredibly difficult for most people. Our culture teaches us that it's smarter to be defensive and protective and to be smart and to be, like make sure that people don't have access to us and to show up in a different way. Why? Because we have this story in our head that if I have to deal with emotions, if I feel something, then it's going to make me messy and less productive. No, not knowing how to manage feelings makes you less productive. And by the way, the same fear of not being able to feel the feelings in any kind of romance or connection or friendship or letting ourselves be fully seen by the world as who we are. Like I accept myself for who I am. This is where I'm at in my journey. Therefore, I show up and I show the whole world this is where I'm at in my journey because I accept it. I don't need anyone else to accept it. Right? So when she actually asked me, what is it that I think in my head that gives me the freedom to be so vulnerable and so open about where I'm at in my journey and what this has looked like and what I suck at and what I'm amazing at and celebrating huge wins or 84K days, like how am I able to express all that? Because I get a lot of flack for people being like, why are you talking about money? You're bragging about how much money you make. You're not listening then. You're not listening, right? What I really think on the back end is there's nothing on this planet that I will allow to take away my freedom. I feel the most free I've ever felt my whole life. I feel true freedom. I don't feel like I have to protect anything that someone could know. I don't feel like I have to be something different than what I actually am. I don't feel like I have to do something different in order to have the things I want. I feel like the natural desires I have in my heart, which is the program that starts today, is the Alpha Evolution. Now hear me for a second. The journey was, for me, and why I'm leading my clients to this place, the journey was always being really honest about what I want and what makes me happy, what lights me up, absolute freedom, time freedom, financial freedom, travel freedom, the freedom to be present with my kids the way I want, the freedom to speak my truth the way I want, the freedom to expose all the things the way I want, behind the curtain in my business, behind the curtain in my life. It's what actually makes me feel free and happy. So designing that in my life is how I create my business. My business is an extension of who I am, not a thing that I have to mold myself to. That's all crooked and backwards, right? So the work for me was, first we tell ourselves what we really want. Then we start clearing all the rules and all the things that tell us we can't have what we want, and we start breaking those walls down. And then we actually learn to manage the emotions and feelings that come our way as we're stepping into this and doing the work, which is a process most people do not know how to do, right? It's very simple. This is not complicated stuff, yet we cannot do it on our own. We just cannot do it on our own, right? So obviously it's my intention to be able to support other people and telling the truth about what they want, getting really clear what it's gonna take to have that, and breaking through and stomping out and bypassing and flying past all of the crap that is holding us back from having that. The stories, the emotions and feelings that are trapped, the lack of skills in order to be able to navigate these things, the things that need to be rewired in our brain, right? Those are all the how-tos, but simply just being in my energy, being in my presence every single day. For 21 days with these women, I'm showing up every single morning, and we are locking this in and setting the intention of the day. You win the first hour of the day, you win the day, right? We are setting the intentionality and the tone of a limitless expansion, of being able to have all the things we want by being who we truly are. No other rule, it doesn't have to be like how Mandy did it or this other person I follow or this, it's who am I Do you know who you are today as this person, the most powerful person that you've ever, up until now, this is the most powerful that you've ever been. This is the most wise that you've ever been. This is the most able that you've ever been out of your whole entire life. And do you know who that person is right now? Do you know what that person longs for and wants, what you're committed to? Are you showing up with excellence? Because in your area of influence that you have, whatever your area of influence you have, some people have a great big area of influence, some people have a really tiny area of influence, it doesn't matter. But are you showing up in massive amounts of integrity and excellence with that area of influence that you have? Because that's the way that it expands. And the only way that we can do that is by being raw and vulnerable and really honest with ourselves and really brave and being able to strengthen ourselves in the inside to get to the place where we can actually start navigating this and walking this out, right? Vulnerability. Vulnerability is still considered weak. If you are not absorbing all of Brené Brown's crap, please go and start listening to Brené Brown. Start with the YouTube video of Brené Brown, B-R-E-N-E, Brown, like the color, Vulnerability. Watch that first. Absorb that 700 times. It's not about hearing it and understanding like, oh, vulnerability is good. Is your life reflective of you being vulnerable? Do you know that being vulnerable strengthens you, that you will actually strengthen on the inside by being vulnerable? It's not weak. It's not something to outgrow. It's not a naive thing. It's not a weak thing. It's a powerful thing that only powerful human beings will show up and actually walk out in life, being vulnerable. In the groups that I run all the time, it's constant. Every single group, there's one or multiple people who will reach out on the side because they are not in the habit of being vulnerable, because they're thinking like, oh, this isn't something I can post in a group because that's just the cultural norm that we've been taught. Like, you don't share vulnerability with other people. That's like something you do with only like a close friend or only something. It's not something that we can just express and feel safe expressing. But the only reason we don't feel safe expressing vulnerability is because we don't trust ourselves to manage what feelings might come up if it doesn't go how we thought it was going to go. But most times it doesn't go how we thought it was going to go. This isn't just about sharing something verbally. This is about really going for it in your business. Really like, no, I want to be a multimillionaire. I really want to change the world. I really want to impact people. I want to be the world's greatest mother who downloads so much amazingness to my children. I want to show up for the people I love. I want to leave a legacy, a financial legacy for generations to come. I want this to impact 7 generations behind me, where this will be the moment that the generations after me changed, having come from a very poor, family, that I'll have changed 7 generations. I mean, like, are we actually dreaming this way? Are we actually wanting to impact the things in the world that really matter to us? Vulnerability is the way that we get strong this way. It is not weak. You do get to have everything. You do. You get to actually show up in a way where everything around you will be managed, adjust, altered, boundaried out, set on its way, set free, released, whatever it is, pulled close, seasoned, whatever needs to happen, you get to have everything. And this is the journey of actually walking out. This is the alpha evolution. This is about us leading ourselves and being who we truly are. Like, this is who I really am. This is what I'm really here to do. This is what I long for. And everything else will be removed and pushed out of the way, or pulled in close and seasoned and put in boundaries and adjusted so that this works, so that everything in my life is contributed to me being the human being who shows up and is my most expanded self. That is not selfish. That is self-fulfillment. That is soul fulfillment. This is why people have soul anorexia, because the rule is like, well, who are you to think that you could have everything else adjust to you? What do you mean? You are a soul. You are a soul who is here for a purpose, and of course everything would adjust for that. How is that selfish? That is so ridiculous. Selfish is the human being who comes to us and says, this is how you should be to fit in the mold of everybody else who's miserable. That's selfish. Why would you even want that for another human being? That makes no sense at all. None. Total freedom is allowed. Total vulnerability is brave and strong. A raw way of showing up in life is going to show you a real reflection of who human beings are, so you can make a savvy decision about that person. We simply adjust to other people's decisions and their way of being. And imagine if we just showed up in a way of love and understanding that every human being either shows up giving love or basically with a desperate cry to be loved. And that's all that's happening. People aren't taking from us. People aren't taking advantage of us. People aren't hurting us. People aren't, being jealous, like in a way where they're trying to hurt us. People aren't trying to hurt us. People aren't bad human beings. They're desperate for love. They're stuck in love anorexia or soul anorexia, and they're showing up however they're showing up because they're looking for love and they don't know how to do it in a loving way. They don't know how to give love to receive love. So they're trying to get love through whatever way that they know how. Now imagine if we were powerful enough to show up day to day in our lives, really recognizing that what's happening is the human being in front of me is healthy and strong and powerful enough and in their flow enough for them to actually give love in the moment, or they're showing up with a behavior that's indicative that they need love. And imagine if we could be the kind of human beings who just always gave love and we didn't expect anything back. It wasn't something that we needed back, because we knew who we are. And by the way, when I'm giving love, it's not out of integrity. I'm not over giving out of an empty soul, because I've done the work. I've evolved as the human being. I've done the work for me to be love. I'm extension of love. I'm an extension of wealth. I'm an extension of abundance. I'm an extension of joy and happiness. Those things are an extension of me. We are one and the same. And so the alpha evolution is about actually every single day showing up with genuine excellence in genuine love and doing the work on the back end. On the back end, we are doing the work so that we are in unity with joy and love and abundance. And so when we're showing up, it's genuine. We're not overgiving. We're not trying to get someone to love us. We're not trying to make money. We are just being in integrity with who we actually are. So the real question isn't what should I do? How do I do this? How do I fix this? How do I get my husband to stop doing this? How do I get people to show up this way or to engage or to whatever? The real question is, what do I need to be the human being on the back end of what's going on? So day to day in my life, when I'm showing up, the choices I'm making, the decisions I'm making, the way that I'm wiring my brain by my choices every single day, how am I evolving that person? How am I seasoning and strengthening that human being? Because as I step into my power, others will want to join me. I cannot be from a deflated place. I cannot be from a scared, nervous, protect myself energy and expect others to want me to lead them. That doesn't make any sense. The only question that we should be asking ourselves is, how do I strengthen myself to be who I envision myself being, to actually be her on the back end with no expectation or need from another human being to fill that need for me? There is no one that can show up and bring you happiness. There is no one who can show up and make you feel loved. No other human being can make you feel loved. You don't feel love, you feel oxytocin. That's what you feel. It's oxytocin. You're not feeling love. I feel like I am love on the inside because that human being was just sweet to me or nice to me or made me feel a certain way in this moment. That's not lasting. It's a very fleeting thing. And if we're always looking for that next hit of satisfaction or evidence or validation, are we just gonna keep chasing it and we're gonna feel exhausted. It's exhausting. Exhausting. That's not freedom. That's not fun. That's not worth it. Like, screw the whole business if that's what it's really about. Every day I'm going to spend chasing the next dollar and chasing the next client and chasing validation and chasing, likes on my posts or people, validating that I'm a good coach in the coaching sessions or people getting particular results so I feel good about myself. Oh my God, no. Released, dismissed, completely dismissed. Just no, completely unavailable. Our work as the alpha human being, alpha meeting, I lead myself. I step into my power myself. I don't worry about how the rest of it's gonna work out, because I know as I'm stepping into my power, as I continue to show up in this life, claiming freedom, claiming the things that I want, claiming that I know it's coming, and I'm staying in the energy of being so grateful for every client that I have. And I can't even believe you guys do life with me. Like, how did I become a woman that you guys do life with me? I look back and I'm like, how did I come this far? It's a daily decision to do on the back end what nobody sees, what nobody could possibly ever know. The thoughts that I have, that I battle, the way that I choose to think, the decisions I make to back myself, the amount of times that I've been like, oh my God, this is all gonna fall apart. Like, I really fucked this up this time. And then I'm like, nope, that's it. And I dig my heels in and I pull in more resource and I'm terrified because I have no idea how it's all gonna work out, but I choose it anyway, over and over and over. And I choose to believe in myself, and I choose to back myself, and I keep choosing my dreams, and I keep choosing to just express it to the world and just say it again and say it again today and say it again today. And before I know it, I look back and I'm like, how did this amazing life even happen? Like, how did it feels like I just took one step every day, but clearly I walked way more than 352 steps in the last year, clearly, because it compounds on top of each other when we actually do the work to be the human being, when we actually will really truly actually do that work. So this is what it's going to feel like. The alpha evolution, it begins today, right? mandyperry.com/alpha. It begins today. Today is day 1 of the 21 days. You have a few days to join. I don't know what day I'm going to close. Probably in a week I'm going to close the doors, right? This is what it actually feels like to do it. It actually feels like that thing that you've been avoiding and not wanting to look at, we're gonna look at it. And we're gonna look right at it. And guess what? You're gonna get on the other side and be like, why was I even avoiding that? Why was I not talking about that? Why didn't I not pull in support for this? This is so much easier than I thought it was gonna be. That's how it's going to feel, right? And it's going to feel like, oh, do I really dare to dream that I can have that? Am I going to say that out loud? Am I really going to say that thing out loud? Because if I say it out loud, then that means if I don't do it, I'm going to fail and I'm going to look like a public human. No, you're not going to look like you publicly failed. You know what you're going to look like? You're going to look like a brave human being who's going first and leading her way. And guess what? If you ever tried something and you said it out loud and you claimed it and you gave it everything you had to really reach it, like, I'm truly actually going to give this everything I have, and I'm clear why I'm doing this. I know why I'm doing this, and I'm like, I'm definitely shitting in my pants right now. I don't want to admit that this is what I'm going for. I don't feel worthy of it. I don't understand how I'm going to reach it. But you said that anyway, and you showed up every single day in this program, and you backed that dream, and you actually showed up for that dream, and you failed miserably. Guess what? That's exactly what needed you to happen for you to reach it. Guess what? We go again. We go again. Imagine how much you have strengthened and learned and seasoned and grown and expanded and evolved as a human being stepping into her power if she really went for it that way. Do you think that's a loss? That is the farthest thing from a loss, because guess what? 99% of human beings would never have the courage and the heart to actually do that. And that is why you will be successful. It's the people who are willing to have that kind of bravery, that kind of vulnerability, that kind of rawness, that kind of fierceness, and they will step into it and they will do the actual work on the back end to be someone who's in integrity with being able to lead other people. We're going to claim it and say, all right, I'm ready to lead these people here. And the universe is going to go, that's a big game you're playing. Let's make sure you're ready. And they're going to throw some tests at you. Maybe it'll look like a failure. I don't know. I've sure failed crap loads of stuff, right? And every time I have a failure, I'm like, woo, I know there's some good side on the other side of this stuff. There's some good things coming. I would like to know what it is right now, but I know I don't get to know that right now. I'm just going to keep my head down and keep plowing. I'm just going to keep going to the next one and the next one. I'm going to stay in this energy. I'm going to keep becoming. I'm staying in integrity. I'm showing up with excellence. I'm rewiring these things. I can see the silliness that came up. I don't like how I showed up when that situation happened. Let's season that. Let's expand that. Let's evolve that point right there, because there's 100,000 points in our life of all different things. And we got weak areas and we got strong areas, and we build on the strong areas and we allow ourselves to go through whatever's required. What is the journey? I don't know what your journey is, because we all have different things. It's going to look like what it's going to look like. But if we are so scared and we cannot actually surrender to the process of becoming the human being, you will never become the human being, because you can't predict and control your way into having the things that you want. If you already knew how to fix everything that you had that was required for you to evolve into in order to have the result, right? Let me, that was in a messy way. Let me rephrase that. We want something. But who we are right now, how we are showing up, is not in alignment with having that thing that we want. How I'm showing up today gets me what I have right now. I want that over here, which means I have to show up differently, right? So in order to become the human being who evolved into the woman who's showing up differently, evolved into the man who showed up differently, so that we are in alignment with now the thing that we want, right? There's work to be done. If we feel like we can control it and still get there, that makes no logical sense. If you already knew how to get there with the way that you think right now, and with the wiring you have in your system right now, and the beliefs that you have in your system right now, you would already be there. You wouldn't have the current experience that you have. So it makes no sense whatsoever. And the fastest way to shift it is an experience. Not a book, not like, oh, head knowledge. It's an experience, right? Okay. Here's a small, tiny example. Just being in my energy on this Facebook Live right now. The presence I bring to the table because of the work I've done on the back end, because of all the times I've looked at that cliff and been like, oh, no, I'm not jumping off that cliff. Oh, yes, I am. Leap, right? All of those things bring the kind of energy and experience that I have that my clients get to calibrate to now, right? Just that in itself is a small experience. So every time we get to have that experience, it shifts us on the inside. Something shifts. Now we just do it repetitively, and we stay in it. And we actually lock that in, and we start removing the things as we go and rewiring the things as we go. But it makes no sense. I feel like the most detrimental justification or excuse or objection that people have in this field of actually expanding to have their dream life, to have all the things that they really want, is the I'll do it myself, which is usually also accompanied with I need proof first that this will work. I need proof that that investment will be worth it. I need proof that this will work. Let me get a few clients first. Let me, launch this next group first. Let me get back from whatever vacation thing first. Let me whatever the thing is first. And really it's like you should be able to figure this out yourself. You shouldn't have to invest in something else in order to figure this out. That I feel like holds more people back than anything else. I know that what people say is like, oh, I don't got the money. But what they're thinking in their head is like, you need to figure this out yourself. Because if you really knew in the moment, like, oh, I'm going to pay, let's say, I'll pay $3,000. I'm going to pay $3,000 for this. And in return for paying $3,000, I really am going to learn how to have a multi six-figure business this year. And it's like guaranteed 100%. You knew beyond a shadow of a doubt, like God came down himself and told you, no, yes, you will learn multi six-figure. Would you find a way to get that $3,000? Of course you would. Of course you would. So people say whatever it is they say, but what's really going on in the back end is they don't trust themselves because how they show up on the back end. And what it's been like in the past, up until now, I've showed up this way and I don't trust myself. I feel like I'm a gamble. I'm not trusting myself to back myself and to show up. And so in the moment, it's like, how do I know this will be worth it? How do I know it'll be different this time? Do you know what my answer to that is? You know that it'll be different this time. Oh, somebody said I'm freezing over and over. You know that it'll be different this time. Oh, I don't actually know how to pull that screen down. I did shut my Wi-Fi off. You know it'll be different this time because you decide it's going to be different this time, and what you're doing differently this time is actually choosing mindfully to do the work on the back end that you've been refusing to do, and knowing and trusting that whatever that process looks like is what it's meant to look like, that it is what it is. That it just is what it is. Whatever the work is what the work is, and you'll always be okay. You'll always be provided for and taken care of. And your only job is to choose what's in alignment for you to show up for today. What resources do you need to pull in? What is the behavior? What is the belief? Like, what do you need to believe in order to actually feel safe investing in yourself so that you have support to actually outgrow the thing that you have wired incorrectly right now, or the thoughts that you have that are getting you the results that you want when you want these results over here? What do you need to believe in order to believe that that's safe and that's okay and that you can do that and you're allowed to have that and you're allowed to have those experiences, you're allowed to have that level of support, you're allowed to have all the things that you want? What do you need to believe in order to shift into that belief? Because that belief will get you really far. And then we intentionally do the work for you to be the person who's actually committed to and deciding and following and backing up the things that you promise yourself, and you're actually following through with those. And we're removing the blocks that are in the way to you getting there. And we're continuing to choose thoughts and beliefs that get us to the place where we get to have everything we want. You just get to. And anyone and anything that tells you otherwise is living in scarcity and fear, and they don't believe that for themselves, and they have the same level, if not more, of the same work to do that you do. And what are we listening to that for? What is the point of listening to that? How does that serve anybody? It doesn't serve anybody. Okay. I wonder if it's cutting out because the Wi-Fi's not on. Yes, freedom! Hashtag rise up. I was crying watching Captain Marvel last night. She was a human who kept getting back up over and over and over and over and over, because that's who we are as human beings. We're just the human beings who are gonna go for it and are gonna fail sometimes, and then we brush up and we get back up. And that's not, that is an incredible way. Like when we're 95 looking back at life, we'll be like, oh, I was so messy. I fell so many times and I had to get back up so many times. Hell no. The only thing that we'll think when we're 95 looking back at our life is pain of regret of not going for it. Ask any old person, go ask them. What is the number one regret? Not really going for it, not spending time with my loved ones. I personally am unavailable for massive levels of wealth and freedom, interrupting or taking time away from the people I love. And I'm also unavailable for not having massive levels of freedom and wealth because I just needed to stay the same. because I chose familiarity. So we need to stop bullshitting ourselves that wealth and freedom and the life of our dreams will take away from the people we love, because that's not what takes it away. And we know it. You know the truth when you hear it. The thing that's taking away from the people you love is the numbing out behavior, the distracted, chaotic behavior, the throwing shit against the wall, the not showing up intentionally and with integrity and actually keeping our word to ourselves, keeping our commitment to ourselves, and actually getting really clear, like, these are the needle movers that I'm showing up for, and I'm gonna take the rest of it and throw it out the window. All the rest of that, 80% of the crap we're doing was completely unnecessary. I'm chucking that shit out the window. I never need to do it again, but I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna do the things that mean the most to me, that actually are the needle movers, that actually are the drivers, that actually get me the life that I want, and I'm gonna do them with excellence. And I'm gonna pull in every single resource or anything that I need to do. I don't care how scary, I don't care how much I don't know how it's gonna work out. I'm gonna pull that in, I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna crush it, and I'm gonna continue to have the life that I want. And I'm gonna stop pretending that I'm not doing that because I'm taking care of my family, or because I'm being smart financially, or because I'm whatever other excuse that comes up. It's all BS. It's our messy behavior. It's the chaos. It's the worry. It's the low vibrations. It's the needing proof. It's the waiting for it to fall from heaven. It's the pretending that we need someone else's permission first. It's all of these things that are taking us away from the memories that we want to have in life, from the experience of life that we want to have. It is not a smart, savvy, something else, I'm just so loving to my family. It's none of that crap, right? It's choosing familiarity. It's not choosing to be brave, and it's not doing the correct work. It's continuing to try to figure out how so we feel safe and continue to be messy, versus I'm actually gonna do the work on the back end. This is inner work. Wealth is an inner game. It's a mindset game. 100% requires a real depth of mental stamina and a belief system that is different than what our culture or the entire world or the people that we love teach us. It is a completely different mindset. It is inner work. It's an inner game, right? And that is what we're doing in the 21-day Alpha Evolution. I love you so much. Best coach ever. I love you too. Don't mind me over here. I'm just calibrating. I am calibrating. This is what we do. You keep freezing. Okay, yeah, I saw that one. Sorry, my finger just went in front of the thing. Oh, no freezing here. Good. Okay, that was just Janet. I had you in my ear last night. Then I got up and did the work you said to do at the end of the training, and ended up mapping out my new program, the one-to-one group, the worksheet, and free offer. This is how we roll. We just create. We just be, and then create, and be, and create, and be, and create, and have it all, and that is it. And sometimes I forget that I need to continue to talk about having it all, because we have like 99% of everything coming at us is telling us we cannot have it all, that you cannot be that happy, you cannot be that free, you cannot be that level of wealth, you cannot, have all the parts of life be the way that you want it to be. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. But it is going to require some bravery and some truth telling. And that is it. That's what I'm here to remind you guys today, right? Okay, so 21-day evolution. Literally, this is the work we're doing. The amount of breakthrough, I can already tell. This is it is a combination of everything that I have. Every time I have stood there and been terrified to step forward and chose it anyway. That's what I'm bringing to the table. Every powerful breakthrough, the level of expansion and success that I've had so rapidly because of the work I've done in the back end, this is what we're doing, and I'm doing it with you. I just did another whole level of it, and we're doing it again in this program. It's a daily program. Everybody gets what they need. Every question is answered. I'm tracking with every single one of you. It's a small private group, and the website is mandyperry.com/alpha. I'll drop the link below. If you have any questions at all, just PM me. I love you guys. We're doing this. We're not stopping. We are literally going all the way to the top. And the top doesn't look like the same for everyone. The top is whatever your dream life looks like. And guess what? You're not going to know what it is really, right? Like, you know what it is at this level right now. You know whatever the next version of the best life is right now. There's no way to figure out, like, this is the dream life I want to have forever, because you will expand so rapidly. On the other side of 21 days like this, you're going to be a different human being with a different vision, a different level of clarity, and a different dare to dream hope level, and different results. All of the things will be different, and then we'll do it again, right? Then we do it again. We're like, okay, what is the new vision? What is my new dream life? Mine continues to expand, right? Piano lessons, dance lessons, vocal lessons, traveling around the state with my children, not wanting to travel as much. Before, all I wanted to do was travel. travel. Now it's like, yeah, I don't really want to travel that much right now. I want a season of really going deeper with my children. And I worked out some really overwhelming things that were, sort of going on, and really calibrating my mothering and my depth that I go to with my clients, and the way that I'm able to season and track with my clients, and how my team worked, how my business, I changed the entire structure of my business, right? Every time I reach a new level, there's a new way that I want life to be, and I always get to change my mind, and I always get to really conform my entire life to be what it is that I want it to be. And now it's a journey of the romance and the love, and I had to decide, like, in romance and love, I don't know how I feel. Do I want to be intimate right away? Does that feel good to me? Am I not being intimate until there's a committed relationship? I don't really know. What feels good? What feels in alignment? How do I want it to be? How was this experience? How was that experience? And not feeling the need to, like, I have to know and decide how everything is right now. I have to know who I'm going to be. I have to know how it's going to feel. I have to know how it's going to work out. I will teach you how to have the stamina to not need that, and to truly just show up with integrity and excellence today. And so you don't have to worry about tomorrow, because you are creating everything that you want to have. And on top of that, you are being who you truly want to be. You are being in integrity and in soul alignment every step of the way that you're doing it, so that you don't wake up and feel in massive pain like you are somewhere you don't want to be, which is stories we hear all the time. And I almost thought that I got there, which was a massive breakthrough for me, because I realized it had nothing to do with waking up somewhere I didn't want to be. It had everything to do with I had calibrated and grown so rapidly and fast that the way the world was around me wasn't in integrity anymore. And that was very scary and painful. And I got to adjust and calibrate to that, which I realize now was something that we will do forever. It is something we will do forever. But I don't have to worry about it, because I know I have done the work on the back end to be in integrity with myself and show up with my power moves, and have the bravery and courage and the skill to be able to manage everything that comes my way, and understand in the moment that it truly is for me. The way that I think brings the success to the table for me, and it brings happiness and joy and relaxed. And sure, I go through seasons of being stressed out, and then I'm like, this feels like shit, and I remember what I need to remember and shift back into it, because I just hate that feeling. I'm just unavailable. This is not happening. Mandy, my love. Good morning, Tiffany. Okay, I have to run to my chiropractic appointment for my neck that I tweaked, even though it's feeling pretty good right now. Maybe I just needed to get into flow with you guys. Okay, so if this is resonating with you, the doors close in a few days. The Alpha Evolution, 21 days of doing the work on the back end to be the person who stands in their power, and that others will be drawn to, because we are drawn to others that are standing in their power. And we're removing the blocks, we're shifting through, we're showing up, we're getting this work done. This is going to be one of the most powerful groups I have ever run. I just feel it in my soul, in my bones. The level of transformation is going to be like nothing I have ever done ever in my life. It's a group that I'm going to run over and over, and I already know that people are just going to stay in it and continue to do the work because of the level of transformation that's going to happen. So if you feel called to show up with a deeper level of excellence, with integrity, with intentionality, and like I'm doing things with excellence, I'm doing it well, and actually creating the space so that the things that mean the most to you stay on as the top priority, and you're still calibrating and elevating and evolving your entire life, your entire being, then this is the program for you. MandyPerry.com/alpha. I love you guys. Have a fantastic day. Let me know what comes up for you below. Feel free to share this video if you feel like you got value. I love you very much. Have a great day, guys.